This is Mon Health Talk, a weekly program focusing on the dedicated physicians, nurses, and staff at Mon Health, the region's premier community hospital system. People with skillful hands and bright minds using state-of-the-art technology. We don't just practice medicine, we care for people like family. That's why at Mon Health you can feel the difference. Once again, welcome to this edition of Mon Health Talk.
Good morning. Welcome into the program, Mon Health Talk. I'm Dave Wilson. Our guests this morning are Nate James, Mon Health System Director of Employee and Volunteer Engagement. Good morning, Nate.
Good morning, Dave.
We also have Kim Liston, Community Programs Coordinator at Mon Health Preston Memorial Hospital. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking a few minutes with us. We're going to get into community and employee engagement today, and we'll do that in just a couple of moments, but we'd like to get to know both of you just a little bit better. Let's see. Nate, for no particular reason, why don't you go first today? Tell us about yourself, where you're from, your education, how you got hooked up with Mon Health.
Yeah, so I grew up in a town about an hour east of Morgantown called Ridgely, West Virginia. Came to school at WVU to get my bachelor's and master's and fell in love with the town, just never left. I got started at Mon Health, actually at Preston Memorial Hospital in 2019 as their Director of Development, Foundation, and Communications. And then just as the years progressed, my career progressed to my current position now as the System Director of Employee and Volunteer Engagement.
Not to get too far off track, Nate, but Ridgely's right across the river from Cumberland. Am I in the right area?
That is correct, yeah.
Beautiful part of the country over there. Again, not to get too far off track today. And Kim, same to you. Tell us about your education, background, where you're from, all the above.
Well, I'm actually from here in Preston County. I was born and raised in Kingwood, West Virginia, so I'm a small-town girl. I did attend WVU, and I got a bachelor's and a master's degree in social work from WVU. Spent a lot of time in service and service learning, and I've been here about 11 years, so there was a position that came open with community programs. You're kind of involved in a little bit of everything. You've got students, volunteers, community outreach, and it just seemed like a really great fit for me.
And not to be outdone, Kim, Preston County, beautiful country out there. I could go out in Preston County, find a nice farm. You'd never hear from me ever again. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. Nate, explain what your role as System Director of Employee and Volunteer Engagement, what does that encompass? What do you do?
Yeah, so I tell people all the time, I probably have one of the fun jobs at Mon Health. I get to celebrate all of our employees and just show appreciation to them each and every day, but then also host a wider range of events for our employees.
Give me just and we're going to get into some more specifics here in the next segment, but give me an example, some of the things you do for the employees.
Yeah, so during the beginning of the year, I am the coordinator of our Doctor's Day. So in March, we celebrate all of our physicians. And then May, we get to celebrate all of our nursing staff for National Nurses Week, as long as also celebrating all of our hospital staff for Hospital Week.
And Kim, as Community Programs Coordinator, what does your role entail?
Well, it's a little bit of everything, but I always say I'm the community arm of the hospital, so I'm that connection between the community. So I coordinate volunteers here at the hospital, and I also make sure that all of our students are on board, and we've got all our ducks in a row there, so they have a great experience here. And then I get our folks out into the community to do outreach. So it could be education, it could be participating in events, just to make sure we're present and a part of those.
I'm going to guess organizational skills are pretty high up on the list of strengths for you, too.
Yeah, I would agree.
It sounds like a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of organization, keeping everything, as Kim said, keeping those ducks in a row. I don't envy those positions. They sound fun, but I don't envy that side of the job.
A lot of planning.
Well, coming up, we're going to get into both employee and community engagement. We'll talk to Nate a little bit in the next segment. Kim, you can sip a little bit of coffee if you like, and then we'll get into community engagement coming up in the third segment of the show. That's the plan as we continue on. Nate James, Mon Health System Director for Employee Volunteer Engagement, and Kim Liston, Community Programs Coordinator at Mon Health Preston Memorial Hospital. They are our guests this morning, and you're listening to Mon Health Talk on WAJR.
Now back to Mon Health Talk, a discussion of the issues, people, and procedures in healthcare today. If you have a question for one of our healthcare guests, call now at 304-296-0041.
Our guests this morning are Nate James, Mon Health System Director of Employee and Volunteer Engagement, and Kim Liston, Community Programs Coordinator, Mon Health Preston Memorial Hospital. And Nate, I'll start with you. Let's talk a little bit about employee engagement. Why is it important that Mon Health offer events for their employees like you mentioned earlier?
So all of our employees go above and beyond their daily duties. So we just want to try to show as much appreciation to them as possible and just show that we see all of their dedication to Mon Health. So it makes my job easier to plan events for all of our employees.
And Nate, I would suspect as competitive as the healthcare industry is when it comes to recruiting employees, there has to be more to offer than just, well, here's your pay and here's your benefits. Everybody gets pay and benefits. I think are employees looking for these kinds of things?
They are. And I think that's what sets Mon Health apart from other healthcare industries, companies in the area, that we just try to show the appreciation every day, whether it's having food trucks on site. We now have a farmer's market that is offered to our employees. Pet therapy. So we work with Eagles on Wings and have 2 therapy ponies that come into the hospital now.
That is fantastic. So tell me about some of the events that you have coming up here in the near future.
Yeah, so our major appreciation event will be coming up for Mon Health System on Saturday, August 12th. We're partnering with Milan Aquatic Center, and all Mon Health employees that are able to come for the day will enjoy Milan Park Aquatic Center for free for the entire day. So they just have to bring their Mon Health ID badge, and they will be entered into the building for free. We also are working with Charging at You out of Garrett County. It's an inflatable company, so we'll have an inflatable slide. We have an obstacle course, axe throwing, and a boxing ring. And then from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., we are able to have, graciously, our CEO, David Goldberg, will be in the dunk tank. So we're raising money for our colleague support fund.
That sounds like some fun there to have David in the dunk tank there. Hey, it's also, believe it or not, we were just talking this morning, high school football practices started today. Back to school is just a few weeks away. Anything tied into back to school season this year?
Yes. So we have just this year started a back to school program, graciously from our partners at CAMC. It's a program that they do now currently. But we are offering free backpacks to any Mon Health employee that has a child in school. So we're currently taking donations from actually our Mon Health staff, are all working together to bring in school donations. We're going to put all of the backpacks together, and that'll be something we'll be handing out on Friday, August 17th.
Talking with Nate James, Mon Health System Director of Employee and Volunteer Engagement. Throughout the entire year, and you've mentioned a couple of these earlier in the discussion, but what else do you offer throughout the year just to let employees know they're appreciated, or to make their day a little bit less stressful in what can be some very high stress jobs? Absolutely,
yes. So again, we have Hospital Week, Nurses Week. We also do our food trucks. A program that is near and dear to my heart that we do for our Mon Health employees around Christmas time is called Hearts of the Holiday. That's a program where we are helping our Mon Health staff that are less fortunate. They go through an application process, and then we actually have our departments of all of our facilities go out and purchase food and different things off a wish list to provide Christmas for a family of Mon Health.
Nate James, Mon Health System Director of Employee and Volunteer Engagement. Kim Liston is the Community Programs Coordinator at Mon Health Preston Memorial Hospital. Kim, you still there?
I am. I'm here.
All right. You're up on the other side of this break. We'll talk about some of the things happening in Preston County in particular right after this. You're listening to Mon Health Talk on WAJR.
This is Mon Health Talk, providing a window into the Mon Health system and the dedicated healthcare providers who work there. If you'd like to comment or ask a question, please call 304-296-0041.
Our guest this morning, Nate James, Mon Health System Director for Employee and Volunteer Engagement. Kim Liston, Community Programs Coordinator at Mon Health Preston Memorial Hospital. And Kim, can you tell us about some of the events that have been happening in Kingwood recently?
Sure. So we've had a pretty busy summer. I know a lot of folks take some time off, but we had several local events that we participate in. We have our parades for the local communities, so we are always participating in those, make sure that they know we're still here. Some like to give out candy, all that fun stuff. But we have had several kind of bigger community events. They had an Albright, they had a volunteer fire department safety event. So we attended that and offered some information to families there. And we had what we called Kingwood Summer Fest this summer. Had a car show, all kinds of fun stuff. I was on that committee to help bring that event, which was fantastic. But we also presented some information there and had some games for kids to play, which is actually kind of the same thing we're going to do this weekend at the Preston County Arts Festival they're having in Kingwood. So we've done a little bit of outreach. And then we also did, at Preston School, we did nutrition information to students that are there this summer. And we also did summer physical activity and safety at Central Preston. So those are kind of a splattering of some of the events we've done.
Sounds like you've been able to stay pretty busy there. Earlier, you also mentioned the volunteers and coordinating them and keeping all of them straight. So how do you do that? And what do the volunteers do?
It's a great question. We actually involve our volunteers in a lot of things, and a lot of times they're involved in some of those events. Like actually today we're going to take our float apart and put it back together, make it all brand new, ready for the rest of this parade season. So they do some things on site. They do some things off site. So we have blood drives every 2 months. We've been hosting those since 1981. So we have a pretty good group of people that come and either give blood, but my volunteers will help at the event, make sure everything runs real smoothly. Then we have volunteers inside the hospital also that are greeters and kind of help people find their way, direct them to where they're going, answer some questions of, just the normal kind of things. But they get kind of confused when you're inside of a new hospital or you're just having a bad day. Sometimes you get confused on where you're going. So they kind of are that extra smiling face that can help them find where they're going, answer questions, and just make it a better experience for them.
I'll tell you what, those volunteers, they can be invaluable when you find out, okay, grandma's in room 706, and you go, it's not that easy because you got to go down this hallway and then you make a left and you got to do that. They're invaluable, Kim. They're invaluable when it comes to that. How can people get involved and volunteer, whether it's for one of the events that you mentioned or to be one of those greeters or, for lack of a better description, tour guide around the hospital?
Yeah. So they can, a lot of people have questions about what do they do. So I do recommend if they would like to have their answers, absolutely call me. We'll chat about it. If they want to come in and see what volunteers do, we can do that as well. But they can reach me at 304-329-2597. It's my direct dial here. It comes right to me. They can also email me at kimberly.liston@vandaliahealth.org. I've had several people kind of reach out just ahead of time and say, hey, could you tell me what I would be doing? Great questions. And we don't keep them forever. They think that, oh, gosh, if I'm signing up, that means I'm here 4 days a week. And at a smaller hospital, that's not necessarily the case. So we just ask them to give us 4 hours a week. And a lot of people are like, oh, I can do that. So that's a wonderful way to give back and get experience. And some people like to retire but don't really want to be fully retired yet.
Yeah, a lot of people like having something to do. I would also venture to guess, do you get student volunteer, or can you do student volunteers who are looking for community service, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. Some of our volunteers are coming in the summertime. They get a lot of hours with me, and they'll say, hey, I'll be here 3 days a week, which is wonderful. And then sometimes I get a couple that come after school. We're very close to Central Preston and to Preston High School, especially if you've got a student that's thinking about, hey, I think I want to be in healthcare, but I don't really know what I want to do yet. It gives them a great inside look at the hospital so they kind of can understand a little bit about what's going on and maybe give them an idea of, hey, I might want to be an occupational therapist. I didn't know what that was. So it's kind of a great experience in that way as well.
Kim Liston joining us, Community Programs Coordinator at Mon Health Preston Memorial Hospital. Kim, as I mentioned, it is back to school time. Are there events to host schools or be involved in sporting events? What do you have going on with schools this year?
We have a very close relationship with our schools. We're very lucky to have that. So we haven't quite gotten as many yet, but I know we have a backpack giveaway. It's a community giveaway. I believe it is the end of this week, I believe, and we're going to participate in that. Students are able to get free backpacks, part of a community organization. And so we go and participate in that event. But then we also get a lot of phone calls in October to attend our Pink Out events. So students around here get really involved around breast cancer awareness and hosting events to raise awareness, and occasionally they'll donate us funds for our Pink program here at the hospital. So we always want to be involved as much as possible because we're so thankful for their efforts as well. And then sometimes we'll have back-to-school events, and we'll go and attend those, or they'll have a wellness fair, so they reach out and say, hey, do you mind coming to attend this? So we want to always be present with those.
Any other big events planned throughout the year?
We do have our turkey trot for our foundation in November. So that'll be November the 11th. That benefits our PMH Foundation. We've done that the last 3 years, I believe. It's a fun event, kind of chilly, but it's a great reason to get out and start walking. We do blood drives every other month. So those are that's kind of our standalone event that people are like, oh, that's right, you guys do blood drives. So we've got one of the longest standing drives, which is pretty impressive. It takes donors to do that, so we're very thankful for that as well. And then everything you can find on our either our Mon Health Facebook page or our monhealth.com/health fair website as well.
About 20 seconds here, Kim. Why should someone get involved? Why would they come volunteer?
I think probably one of the best reasons is to be involved in your community and to have a little bit of fun. I mean, you enjoy people. It's a great way to get out there and be involved and give back to your community.
And, Nate, I want to bring you back in the conversation here before we call it a day. Like we said earlier, Mon Health does not have to offer all these programs for employees or for community engagement, but it really sets it apart, doesn't it?
It sure does. Absolutely. We have a new slogan, grass is greener. So we just feel the grass is greener on our side to show support for our community and to show support for our staff.
Nate James, the Mon Health System Director of Employee and Volunteer Engagement, and Kim Liston, Community Programs Coordinator at Mon Health Preston Memorial Hospital. Guys, thanks so much for spending some time, and enjoy the fun jobs.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate your time.